Welcome back to the set. Daron Vaught here with your feature interview, and as promised, Mark Robertson, the newly elected SGA president, and as I did not mention in the open, Yancey Wilmoth, the vice president, is here as well. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, so it was a close election. A lot of people expected it to be that way from the get-go. First of all, how does it feel?
I mean, it was definitely a rush. I mean, got out of class on Wednesday night and went over to the SGA office, and by that time I'd heard that we'd won, and it was a pretty exciting night. You know, we had a good time up in the White Topper office that night. I mean, it was definitely unexpected. We didn't go into the campaign really expecting to win. So
yeah, well, knowing that, obviously you do some work here with us in the mass communications department. Yancey, I know you're active as well with soccer and whatnot and being a resident advisor. What sort of spur of the moment made you guys decide to run?
You want to take that one?
Well, mine was really last minute. Mark had asked me, and I thought about it, and then maybe a day before we had to turn in our application, I said, yeah, I'll definitely do this. So we had to sit down and be debriefed, or he debriefed me about everything, he and our campaign manager. So I would just feel like I was thrown into it, but that made it more the fun.
And this might be a question, this next question, maybe a little more for Yancey, but Mark, I know you were involved in the cabinet for a couple of years as the public relations officer, but Yancey, with no prior SGA experience, maybe just kind of go through the week of campaigning and elections. What was that experience like?
Wow. Well, first we had our campaigning meeting, and that was pushed back a day just because everyone's schedules were ridiculous. And I didn't realize there were that many rules. And then we were thrown into campaigning, you know, door-to-doors, flyers, all that. And then the debate, like, that crept up too. And I had not been able to make it to a previous SGA presidential debate. So I was brand new to everything. So I really learned a lot from it, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was an all-out blitz, Daron. It was, we went through dorms, especially the freshman dorms, Mawa and Stewart, and really tried to talk to people, get their feel on what they wanted to see from SGA next year, and I feel like that helped a lot with us shaping our campaign. You know, we were really dedicated to these specific project plans that we have. One for a hedgerow in front of Hillman, another for a mural on the side of the Merck, and a third for picnic tables up here on the top of the hill in between Miller and MS. And what we did is budget those, put a time frame on all of them, and that really allowed us to throw specifics at people when we were campaigning. We weren't throwing these abstract ideas out, and that was something that I think really helped our campaign a lot.
Well, you mentioned some strengths of your campaign, and one that comes to mind, for me at least, is that I don't know that an SGA campaign at Emory Henry has ever had a website coming into the election. What was the thought process behind generating that, and do you think it also helped?
Yeah, I absolutely think the website helped. The real rationale behind it was that everybody is so into social media, into Facebook. Well, Facebook, you can be judged pretty easily on how many likes your page has. So if we created a Facebook page for our campaign and it got 7 likes, that's going to send a message to the voters out there that, you know, not too many people are behind these people, why should I be? Whereas a website, they can go there, they can see everything. We've got more freedom of being able to put the information out there for everybody to see, which we did. We put all our project plans out there. But it was a more accessible way to us, I feel like. And we also had a contact us page, so there was room, and still is. The website's going to remain up all year for people to hold us accountable for what we've promised. But there's a way for them to still get in contact with us. It's still a two-way street there.
So let's talk about these. I know you mentioned the 3 specific projects right out of the gate that you guys are planning on executing. Talk about those.
Okay, well, they'll all be finished by fall semester, by November. And as Mark was saying, the first one is restoring the gate that is in front of Hillman. The 2 arches that seem sort of out of place, we're going to restore a hedge that runs behind them. And our second one is going to be having a mural on the side of the Merck. And this is, you know, possibly proposed or created by an art student. We'll have all different ideas, and then the favorite one will be picked. And then all the art students, or possibly even that art student, gets to put it up on the wall on the side of the Merck. And we're excited about that one because with McAdoo's coming in it's going to be a huge advertisement for the college because it's going to be an Emory Henry themed mural. And just driving through, you know, campus on Hillman Highway, all you see is the Merc and, you know, the deli, what's going to be McAdoo's. So that's really going to give a view.
Our third
for the
one,
college also.
like we've mentioned, is putting picnic
if you wanna
tables
talk
up
about
there
that.
on the side of the hill in between Miller and MS, kind of right outside our doors here in Miller. And the rationale behind that is that there's been this calling for outdoor space all year on campus. That's been the big issue, especially within the Senate. And there have been all these ideas about a fire pit over at Weaver. There's the new outdoor classroom that's up in the woods behind the golf course. All of those are kind of a hike from Central Campus. This is someplace where students go through every day. There'll be 5 picnic tables. It'll seat 40 people. We can have outdoor classes there. Students can sit there and study if they've got an hour break in between classes. We think it's a really good idea and something that will be used by a wide range of students.
So of these, maybe you've got something else up your sleeves for later on in your term, per se. What are you guys most excited about throughout this next year or so?
I mean, for me, it's having that dialogue with the trustees. We will be able to go to trustee meetings, hear what the trustees have to say about where they see the college going, and voice the students' opinion on that. So that's something that we really want to get in touch with students about. It's something, you know, the trustees are the ones who have that donating power. And if we can get their ear, then we have a way to really make a difference on this campus next year and in the years to come.
Yancey?
I think my side is just pertaining more to the students, because 3 years as a student here, I've seen things that students are asking for. You know, our campus is being more diverse, which is awesome, and just being able to accommodate their needs and tie in what Mark was saying with the trustees.
Okay, so let's talk about you guys individually for a minute. I mentioned you're both very, very involved around campus, and this is just another thing on top of it all. Mark, you playing baseball, Yancey playing soccer, and among other things. How are you guys going to handle having everything all at once going within the next school year? I
mean, my schedule's already about as full as it's going to get, so that's something that I'm used to having that time management aspect in my life. It's something that's not going to be new to me. I know how to handle a bunch of different responsibilities. I will not be editing the White Topper next year. We're going to pass that on to one of many capable staff members that we have. I'll remain in some kind of advising or editing role, but not as the editor-in-chief. That's a huge time commitment, and it's something that would be kind of a conflict of interest since we're going to be running the SGA. As far as baseball goes, you know, Yancey plays soccer. That's a fall sport. I play baseball. It's a spring sport. So we'll be able to pick up each other's slack as far as that's concerned. And we have, hopefully, if they all say yes, we're going to have a really capable cabinet as well, who's going to be able to handle a lot of those responsibilities. Colin Christensen was our campaign manager. He'll serve as our chief of staff, and he's somebody who's really dedicated to this. He was the drive behind our campaign. There's no doubt about that. And Colin is a driven person. He's a junior, so he knows how things work. He's been on J board. He's been a senator. So there's no lack of SGA experience with the rest of our administration as well.
That's great. Guys, I appreciate your responses. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But again, I want to thank you both for coming on today.
Thanks, Daron.
Thank you.
And now we send you to Emily Carrier for a brief message about healthy living for this week's Out and About.